other questions now. Our panelists are here. Most of them will be here or will be available for the entire weekend. So please make use of them. This advice you're getting from them, if you go somewhere else to get it, you will have to pay for it. First, you will need an appointment, then you have to wait, then you pay for the parking lot, or you buy your fire carter, and then you pay for the consulting. So that is why we're here. You're asking, where are we networking? We are networking now. Before we start with the question sessions, I would like to address an issue, or actually put a spotlight on an issue. Coming back to this idea of mental cancer of distrust. I just can't get off that term, maybe because it has something medical about it. This mental cancer of distrust, which is also one of the reasons why our networking is not as optimal as we would like it to be, because of the distrust. But some of this distrust, when we watch our communities, we see that I don't want to call it medieval, because that would really be, that's not, it's not befitting. But at a particular level, in smaller circles, this seems to work. Because if you ask me, Janky to me is like a credit union. And it's not even, we have simple rules and regulations that they respect, but they don't have the paperwork and the contracts that you sign with your bank or with your credit union. Yet they function, and it's mostly based on trust. So it makes me uncomfortable, because on one hand you have this big, from today, officially accepted, so it's your medical term, mental cancer of distrust. On the other hand, you have, at a particular level, this Chinese functioning, giving loans to me, giving capital, based on trust. So that's a discrepancy that I'm fighting with. What is the problem? Are we sometimes too educated for Janky? And on the other hand, too educated as well for trust? This is an issue that I would like personally Dr. Azzy to spot light on.
I think sometimes you have to use certain terms to make certain things very clear. And actually that term, mental cancer, states actually. So everybody goes out and think what mental cancer is. But okay, let's look at the term distrust. Distrust is an instrument of protection. Distrust is when you're protecting yourself, you're not sure of what you are, if you will get back the gains. And I believe that it is something which is human. I don't think that we distrust because we are racist. Yeah? So, because also I thought it was distrust, but now I'm looking at it and saying that you distrust when you don't have any other instrument to achieve, maybe to get back what you put in somewhere. You start getting distrust. Because we have to be objective. We're talking about money. And I'm telling you that I come from an African polygamous family and we are scattered. And many of you know that because we don't trust each other with money right into our families. We have land, property and everything. Because our society does not provide instruments to punish somebody, to get something. And so this term of distrust is for me a protective step. And even in our society here in Germany, we have meetings, we have village meetings. Which instruments do we have to bring somebody to justice? Because we give money and change hands like that. So I believe if we don't solve that problem, we're not going to solve the problem of distrust. So let's ask ourselves why our people distrust. So it brings back again the system of saying that we must set up certain institutional measures if you have a measure, if you are in Njangi and Njangi's function because people there, we use social pressure, you know. That is a very effective instrument. That is the instrument that functions in Cameroon. You use social pressure on somebody if he borrows money and don't bring it back. But you can't use social pressure here in Germany. So we must bring in certain steps. If you don't bring in the instruments to get your money back or to get something you gave to somebody back, that problem will remain. So it is something we have to solve. I don't believe that we can just trust each other here and then everybody donates 5,000 euro because we are Cameroonians. I don't think it will function. There must be an instrument to say if this person doesn't bring back that money, we can get it through these measures. We have this property here, we can get it back. So we have to bring in those measures. I think that's what is essential.
I'll ask Dr. Tamful, coming from a financial background. Okay, you're one for a second. Yeah, Mr. Tamful, coming from a financial background to, spotlight on that as well.
If anyone is in Njangi and they're in Germany and they're making less than 8%, they're actually losing money. If you don't believe me, go tomorrow when you do your shopping at Lidl or Aldi, write down the price, and next year do the same shopping and write down the price. The inflation is double what you see on in the press. So it's not an option. Distrust or not, it's not an option. We have to take that step. And distrust is actually one of ignorance and one of personal distrust, not even the next person. And with the cultural solution, I believe, is already within us. The first thing is because we are not honest with ourselves. We don't start by not being honest in the family. If you give your money to let's say, your sister, and you want to ask for an interest, your mom will say, you don't do that. But that's a business, you're giving up your capital, and it needs to be a clear where the interest is mutual. Everyone will fight to make it work. The first thing is that we have to be honest with each other and call it the way it is. There is, why I'm saying from a practical example, our group already has a solution that we have put in place, and we actually, for the last 3 years, we've been investing in our aunties back at home. They don't know it's from us, but it gives us the return and it gives them the capital to do their business. It solves the aspect of distrust. And it's all been used within the existing mechanism. There was nothing that was done differently. So we should focus on what matters, what's the value proposition for everyone involved.
So I'd like to take people can take home with. November last year, I met somebody. I mean, we all went to school. I met somebody who just asked me a simple question, a very easy question. Please, I have children here, and my child will be taking, will be doing the Abitur in June. Can you please help me out with this child? That house of Gabon. I mean, it's a practical question, in need. I said, no problem, I'll help you out for the child. So I went there to help this guy out. This guy has a child, the guy has a school, not Hilfe. And out of that, I had a business idea. Immediately I went in there, my businessman, I started thinking. Immediately, I saw him, I made a proposition to me, and that's why I'm trying to put in what you can do practically. So I sat with this guy down and I said, okay, I'll take your child. He was prepared to pay money for that, for the school. And then I went to his school and he was showing me the software he had designed. The school existed 25 years now. 25 years he's had that business, run that business for 25 years. So he sat there on the screen and was showing me the program, the software program he was using for the school. So I immediately told him, well, that's my field. And well, I'll help you to your child for maths, Abitur. But apart from that, that doesn't interest me. But well, that's real business, because we're talking business, practical business. So I said I will do that business, but what I really want to do, let's talk about the business plan of your school and the software that I'm seeing right here over. So we made an agreement. Immediately we sat business talk. We had a need. We saw the business need. We saw an idea. He has experience, 25 years experience in Nachhilfeschule. That's a big market here in Germany. I mean, you all have children, you know what it means. We want to send our children to school. And that's a business that each and everyone can do, because we all went to school, we are all intellectuals. It's a special business that you can give every single child here that they have that need, Nachhilfe. And then we immediately saw the need, and I could supply him, but I wanted the need of the computer science business that I'm doing. So I told him, let's do that business too. And he told me, okay, because we're talking about trust here. How do I trust you, and how do you trust yourself? So December we started talking about trust. But we have to get a solution about trust. How do we go into the business now? We didn't write business plan. We sat down there and talked about what solutions, what strategy do we do? Do we create a new company? How do we call the company? Should it be a limited company? So we went through all that in handshake methods, and we went through all that, and we decided practically we have created, but it took 3 months. It took 3 months. We have created a GBR. There are reasons why we did that. It's practical. The two of us will created the GBR. He will bring his experience, 25 years experience in the field of Nachhilfeschule. I'll bring my computer science experience, and we'll develop particular software for his school. So I'm giving you something practical. But that issue of trust, if you don't have the tool of trust, it took us 3 months because of trust. We have to guarantee that his investment and my investment has to be secure. So without the issue of trust, and that's the problem I think we have in our culture, we don't have those limits of trust. If I come to him and say I want to deliver something to him, he will not deliver it to me. So now we have a company, a GBL, we created, 2 of us. The GBL it's not a limited company, but it's a company in the sense that's respected. We have a pool where we can do things, but the idea is very easy. You are all experts. You can deliver, say, teaching experience to young children. That is a market. There's much money on that. There's really much money in that in Germany right now. But now, how do you trust somebody that you will do that business together? Partnership. So I'm just giving you that experience. That's something practically that I did. We've created a business after 3 months, and when the software is out there, we will start making money out of it. But that's practical. That's the way about going to it. So trust as an issue. That's my practical experience. I'll give that to you to take that home.
We have good news and we have bad news. Good news is the weather is good out there. So even after we've closed here, we can still continue out there talking. You're in the northern region. It's booming with many cafes of different cultural backgrounds. If you can talk outside, you can go to any other place and sit down, have a good drink and talk. They have many names. Please be very brief in asking your questions. We practically have just 30 minutes. So that's practical.
Okay.
I am Atanga said, Mami Awa, popularly known as Mami Awa.
Mami Awa.
So that a lot of people can recognize me or know me. I am a social pedagogist by profession, and I took down some points here, and then I'll say that before I go to my question. I heard from the previous speakers about synchronizing of our activities, something that the Sovereigns did some years last year. And I heard of mentors from our little young sister there. I heard of psycho-physical stability from Dr. Ivo. I heard of mindset from a longtime friend, Madame V. Tata. Networking from our sister. And I think the growing minority from UCTech here in front of me. I'll pick just a few points there that are of very interest to me. And the first thing is mindset, and the second one is the growing minority. And my question will be to Madame V. Tata, as a pedagogist in schools. I have this problem, and I think it is a very serious problem. a problem that all of us here, in a way or the other, are either affected by it. Our children, this growing minority. I have this problem because many parents, even though we're seated here, we're talking about how to orientate our children towards doing what they are competent of doing. We have this problem because we do not accept the limitation of our children. That is, it's not actually limitation, but to say what they are capable, their competence. This problem comes as a result of the way the German educational system is programmed. Take for instance, in this case, we have some parents whose children were sent perhaps to go to some Ausbildung or maybe to go to Hauptschule or to Realschule. Every parent wants his or child to go to gymnasium. Is it possible? No. So, we have these children who are in the middle of some great challenges. I think our problem shouldn't so much be we who are seated here, but those children, because I think we are so strong because of the background we are coming from. And that background has made us to face a lot of challenges. But these children were born here. And I think these children are more confused than us. And if we don't give them that stability, I think they will fail more than us. I'm talking this to parents and parents to be, and to uncles and aunties. So my question to Madame Payne will be this. I know you are a computer expert, but you have experience by virtue of the longevity, the time you've dealt with problems of the society and with parents. How can we help these parents? Is there a possibility to make some kind of, like maybe we provide some what the German will call pattern, Elton, with our various experts in our society to guide these parents in this transitional moment. Thank you very much.
Interesting question, and I think it's very, very important for us because what we are doing today, we are not doing it for us. We are laying the foundation for this future generation. So Patience is very right. The problem that we've realized within the growing youths, the African youths, is this educational problem. And why do we have the educational problem? We have a lot of educated Africans sitting here, but we spend most of our times at the universities. So we didn't really know how life in the cities, when we studied, how the Africans who live in the cities, how their life is, what they go through, what their children go through. You know, we were, most of us, just students, you know, so we know how to live our students' life. But actually, the problem we have here is we have a lot of African families where the mother or the father, some of them are illiterate, some of them, they went maybe just, primary school, so they have problems with the German language. And the German school system is so complicated, you know, that the parent has to play an active role in the education of the child. So it means when they give the children homework at school, they need their parents also to help them at home. And for parents who can't speak the language, for parents who didn't go to school, their children will always be on the disadvantage. But you have a lot of intelligent children. It doesn't matter if the parents cannot read or write. The children are all intelligent. We need to support these kids. Any child who gets a better support can make it to gymnasium. We have a lot of experience in this field because at the moment my organization, Africa Positive Organization, is a non-profit organization. We have about 200 African families from over 15 nationalities. Somalia, Tunisia, Algeria, I mean, you can all name it. You know, the Muslim-based countries, like Guinea, Zambia, the women, they don't go to school a lot, you know. So, and most of them, they are the people, and also the Ghanaians. We have the Ghanaians who come to Germany, they are not the educated Ghanaians. That's the difference to England on that side. So, there's really a big problem in the African society. So, we have to solve that problem. We have to play role models for these kids. And the problem we have is the Cameroonians are the educated, are the, how do you call it, Bildungsmigranten. Yeah, we the Cameroonians, we are the people who mostly go to the universities here. But the problem we have with us Cameroonians, we are not prepared to offer or to sacrifice to help these kids. What the Indians did to the Indian children in London, that's the same thing we can do to help support these African children growing here. But how many of us are prepared to invest 1 or 2 hours in a week to go and teach an African child? It must not be your child. But when this child grows up and becomes successful, he will always think of you. So I think, as I said, it's a mindset. We have to be role models to our society. We have to sacrifice. If we cannot invest in our own communities, nothing good is going to come out of it. And that's the first thing that we have to do.
So we will take the last question from the president of SOBA, please.
You see, I have to ask a question, but I've been taking notes, and just permit me to say 1 or 2 things. One, I really want to thank the Shesons very much. I think you've done a formidable job bringing so many Cameroonians here to talk. It's something that we thought we would be doing alone, but if a lot of associations could do this, it would really benefit our society. I think there's a saying that Cameroonians talk a lot. It's true, we talk a lot. But if something positive can come out of this talk, then we would have made a positive step forward. You bear with me here. If you didn't come here and you didn't listen to what people are saying, you will not go back with information that you've gathered here today. Concerning a partnership, we started this unofficially, and we are really a partner with the Shesons. And to prove part of our partnership is we are here over a third of the executive of SOBA Foundation is here. We have our treasurer, Mr. Najome, sitting up there. We have the public relations officer, Mr. Teddy Ekabe, sitting here. We have the former president of SOBA Foundation, Mr. Chema for Michael, sitting here, and the former treasurer, Mr. Kenneth Oben. So we hope that if we continue to support our events, we are going to create big synergy so that we can transmit information to others and help Cameroonians to understand what we all want. There's something that I just wanted to add. It's about the communal politics. Last week I was in a conference in Ludwigsburg, and this conference was patronized by Angela Merkel's personal representative to Africa, Mr. Gunther Noke. And the year before, he was former German president or scholar. And what they have been trying to say is that Africa's time has come. Yes. And that it is time for even the Germans to realize that Africans are no longer children who need to be heard, who need to hear, but they need to be heard. And that the flow of development is going the other way around. But what I found interesting there in the conference is there were more whites than blacks. It was this conference this year was more of a conference of how could towns partner with towns in Africa. And what do they need? They need bridges. They need people here because they don't know about Africa. If they want to know it, they will know from us. So if they ask us to come to conferences, like my sister said, let's go there. Maybe they are doing it for their own benefit. It will benefit us. It's a win-win situation. And what it's happening out here is the Germans have understood the opening of their states to migrants because the numbers are growing. So they really want people to come and work in there. Most of us have the qualifications, so we can easily have these qualifications, but we don't go and look for those jobs there. Because if we go there in the States and work in those positions, we can influence the politics here for our children and for ourselves. So I encourage you all to take that step. I want to say something also. It relates to the issue of our future here. Someone mentioned that, okay, we are bound to be here. It's true, we are bound to be here. But maybe we are not really bound to be here. We left Africa and came here. Maybe the trend in the future is that people will be running back there. Before. So what's your position tomorrow? Are you going to go back the way you came here? If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to go and seek asylum in Cameroon, start to take steps to improve your lives here and the lives of your people down there, because if they are fine, and we can build that, we can make that fine, they will put this trend in the other way, in the other direction. And if it's there, then we must have grown. Let's not forget, the only feminine thing in life is change. Before we knew about the Ottoman Empire. I'm not a historian, but there existed an Ottoman Empire ruled by the Turks. There existed the Roman Empire, the British Empire, the American Empire, and probably it's now the Chinese Empire. When is the African Empire or the Cameroonian Empire? It's what is our actions that we take now that will determine that future. And now, so before I ask the question, it concerns networking. Sobans, we tried last year in organizing a conference of association. It was good. We didn't have a lot of resonance, but I believe that if living here, most of these associations could join us and come up into this conference where, because associations can easily reach more people, they could create other networks of people, business people and so forth. But I want to address it in the level of associations. If we can come up together, it means all of the many problems, those which we have not even discussed today, we can sit together and try to solve this. So my question will be to all of you, can you join us? Yes. Let's take your time. I want to thank also the public relations officer for doing a lot of advertisement of events. What's happening is we've started a trend. We are advertising every event that you have. So if you have an event that's coming up, just inform us. We'll publish that to our network, and maybe we'll do the same with your own associations too. So thank you very much.
So be your own boss, and remember, you are from today a strong head picking.
So, thank you everybody once more, and thank you Dr. Awi Susan, Mr. Onge Augustine with his musical entourage are going to offer us an exit musical piece. Wow. Then we'll have final statement of less than 2 to 3 minutes from Dr. Ngasa.
So ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? So this piece is a South African song, a song sung in Zulu. It was produced by a Shesan by name Waxday, and Shesan my classmate by the way, and it was a #1 hit for 7 weeks in South Africa. So my daughters are going to do this piece with me today. So I hope you enjoy.
Mañana I am Dr. Anyangwe Mamengasa. Some of you know me as Manunga Studio. So I have the honor to say thank you to everyone, to each and everyone who has made it to this work. Thank you especially to our panel here. Thank you for all this wonderful information and for the courage. Because to step out of your security in order to start something new in a very hostile environment, as we know in Germany, it's a very great thing. Just to give one information, I have written a book. I just wrote a book. It's now with a fella, and it's all what we've talking about. I've put it into paper. So sometime around this year, maybe in at the next Frankfurt Book Messe, I hope that the book will be out by then. But it is exactly in the same line. So I've taken my life and going in Africa, growing up in Africa, coming to Europe, becoming a medical doctor, becoming a surgeon, all the challenges that we go through and what it means. And then coming to a conclusion that the best thing today is to go back to Africa. That's the future. That's the conclusion of my book. That's it. So just to give you that information, all of us have our ideas. Everyone tackles the daily problems in Europe, in Germany, in his or our own way. So I'm very happy to be at Tübingen. At the end of this year, we'll come there. I hope I'll be there to present the book. I don't know. But Shesa is here to welcome everyone. Those of you who have friends who are Shesans who are not here, please take the message back to them. Tell them this is what we are doing. Shesa is capable of doing more. And I'm very happy that our brothers from the Sobans have also stretched their hands. They are the ones who started it. We have come along and now we are going together. And we invite every other association, everybody who feels that he is ready to cooperate. And on one very important point there, which we said, we have to go out and help the other Africans who are not educated. Please, it is not a joke. It's a very serious problem. It's a very serious problem because we witness it in the hospitals. When parents come in with their patients, with their children in the hospital, if they don't speak German, they're in trouble. We used to call it the Turkish problem, but I tell you, it is not only a problem for the Turks, it's a problem for Africans too. Any person who cannot speak German is doomed, is in trouble. It's a bitter reality in Germany. So, I thank you all for coming here and let us call it a day. And I hope that you will enjoy the next days with us and make Shesa even more proud. So, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, outside there is more refreshment. I'm very sorry for the individuals who could pose their questions, especially for some Cameroonians from the Frankfurt committee. I'm very sorry, but we'll have many more of these sessions coming, and we'll also welcome any invitation from you as well. And like I say, there's refreshment outside. Refresh yourself and have a nice evening.
Suffered knowing more than David was, who was just a smart boy, who was raised against the law, who was moved from his and be happy.